Welcome to another episode of Last Week's Comics. Today I have another small stack. I think next week is going to be decently large for the first time in a number of weeks. But let's talk about this week. So we're starting with Sacrificers issue 14. This first page I must have read half a dozen times. This weekend I'm crunched for time, and I knew that going into it. And so I tried to read this stack of comics as early as possible, and I read the other three Wednesday night, and this is not the book's fault. It's definitely my fault. I was trying to do too much, and I should have just recognized that I was not ready for it, and I fell asleep on the couch. So just trying to read this, I'm like, I know I'm not retaining this, and then I would try again, and still not retain it, and I'm just like, brr, must read comics. So this first page is kind of a recap, but not really, because it's a fictionalized and inaccurate telling of something that happened issues ago. And it's, I'm going to say, excellent. It's interesting in that I don't know where they got this information from. Actually, I don't know. Yeah. I'm just going to move on from that thought. Because I could say things, but really, once again, I just want people to read the books for themselves, and this one is excellent, and I do recommend it. And these people on the cover, these kind of clowns, I think look more sinister here than they are portrayed in the comic itself, because here they are, and we see them quite a bit. We see the new batch of sacrificers, and so they're watching this clown show, which I can't tell the passage of time, but the events depicted here are relatively recent, and to have put together a stage show, to written and produced a stage show that, I'm going to say quickly, is well done. That's admirable. So, there's a new batch of kids that are going to be sacrificed and drained of their life so that the gods can sustain themselves. But, you know, we've got the younger sister of Pigeon, and we also have her still running around, and she is trying to help Pigeon. Oh yeah, also the return of Black Goo. It's interesting. The plot definitely moves forward in a few different ways, and there are some great character moments in this, and it's excellent, and yikes. This stuff happens, and like that is going on. It's excellent, as I said, and recommended, and I love this book. I decided to pick of the week just before I started filming, however, and it's not this one, surprisingly. But the one thing I did find is this issue, I'll say, is only 19 pages, because I picked it up and I'm like, this seems very light, so I actually counted, and it is only 19 pages, and there's kind of one-page ad here at the end, but yeah, for whatever that's worth, 19 pages. It's not even the new standard of 20 instead of the old standard of 22, but it's still excellent. I enjoyed it. I recommend it. Sacrificers. It's great. Grab the trades that are out. Get caught up. You won't be disappointed. Speaking of disappointment, so Berg has been talking about Kaya for a while. This one was listed as a standalone issue, which I feel like is a lie. But Kaya basically has these arcs, and then between the arcs there are supposedly standalone issues jumping on points I think they are intended to be, or this is definitely not a jumping on point. This is a wreck. So there's thankfully this bit up here which gets you some information about what has happened, what is happening in this book itself. This story, this dialogue is impenetrable. I gave up, and I just started looking at the art. The art is, by the way, gorgeous. Wes Craig is great, and look at this two-page spread. Awesome. Awesome. But as far as the story goes, the best story is this, I think, 7-page, nearly silent story at the end here. This is great. And it's I think written and drawn by somebody else. Where's the credits? So it's mostly written and drawn by somebody else. Concept by Wes Craig. But Berg tried to warn me before I purchased this issue that the events here are referencing something that happened further back in the story. These characters, what happens here sort of changes the story going forward, and it's also bringing some characters back that were in it from earlier, and all of that is completely lost on me. This is not a jumping on point. It doesn't do any legwork. As an audience member that doesn't know what has happened, and it only gives me these 5 lines of text to help catch me up, this just dumps me into the world, and with characters that I am unfamiliar with, and speech that is very stylized, and it annoyed me to the point that I stopped reading it and only looked at the art, which again is excellent. But as far as jumping on points, this is terrible. This is my second attempt at Kaya. I don't remember if I got the first issue or just read the preview pages for the first issue, but early on I wasn't convinced, and this doesn't convince me either. But I don't know, if Wes Craig draws something else. This cover, by the way, reminds me a lot of Jurassic League, which was Juan Gideon, I believe. Anyway, yeah, if Wes Craig does something that is written by somebody else, I'll try Wes Craig's next book, but I think I'm done attempting Kaya. This, oof, it looks great. Missing on the Moon issue 2, it's still a fairly odd book. So we actually get this opening sequence that takes place in the past. It starts in 1978. This is very much an alternate history story because the present for this book is actually taking place in 1997. But if you can't tell from the cover, alternate history. So the Russians get to the moon first. They actually wind up colonizing it, and for some reason everything's taking place in the 90s. Who knows? But so there's this opening sequence that gives you a bit more information. There is then this guy who is investigating the main story, which is there is a small girl that is missing. And he winds up getting some new information, gives it to another guy. Where is he? This guy here. This guy then winds up sidelining him in this attempt to get her back. And he then gets even more information about what's happening, and this poor guy gets a bunch of people killed. So there is more information given. There is a larger story than just a missing girl on the moon, and there is the sci-fi alternate political stuff going on, and I still find all of that very interesting, and I would like to see where this goes, and it's one of the rare man cave books that I recommend. So this is excellent and interesting and looks nice, and yeah, it's got kind of a Phil Hester-ish. It's like a not quite, but yeah, I like it. I like the art, I like the story. I'm gonna recommend it. Lastly, for single issues is Absolute Superman issue 4. It feels like more has happened in the story than can fit into just 4 issues, but that's a good thing. So it honestly starts, and I back it up even further, most of this issue does not have Superman in it. It's mostly a Lois-focused issue, and here she/Jason Aaron is doing a Talking Heads thing, where a bunch of people that have interacted with Superman in the past are being interviewed. My problem with this, from page 1, is she's giving essentially the same speech to everyone that she encounters, not... like, nobody's talking back to her, is the problem. So she's going to all of these people, she's trying to get information, nobody's talking to her, nobody wants to talk to her, and, like, she doesn't change the speech at all, depending on who she's talking to, depending on... Clearly, the speech is not working from person to person, and it's... I know that on Aaron's part, he's trying to convey this repetition. He's trying to get this story across, her pitch, and it's odd because she's smart. She's supposed to be smart, and you would vary, I would think, your speech depending on who you're talking to. So it's one of those annoyances. Anyway, there's stuff going on with the peacemakers, with one specific peacemaker, and Lois still looks like a badass, and yikes, right there in the mouth. But as I said, this is mostly a Lois issue. We've got more Bendis talking heads going on here, and it's just excellent. We get more references to the Omega Man, and we actually see somebody. There's this fight that happens. I guess the fight starts there, but this gun comes out of nowhere, and there was a person, if you caught it, with red hair, which might mean something to people. Right, Superman does show up at one point, and for some reason they have like energy swords. I don't know what's happening, but it's very good. There's a line. Remember me, pal? No. It's brilliant. Love it. So, Absolute Superman, for me, gets pick of the week. This was the most fun, the most well-executed book of the week. And it looks great on top of it. I also grabbed a couple of trades. So this is Public Domain, Volume 2. I don't subscribe to Zdarsky's Substack. If I wanted more information, I probably should. But it's hard to tell the publication schedule for Public Domain. So it releases one arc at a time. And then there's a gap between arcs. And in that gap, I don't know if the series has concluded or if it's still going. I wonder if there's anything written at the back here. Is there like back material? Not so much. No. So I don't know. I'm in limbo once again. The series might be over. The series might be continuing. I do not know. Also, there's a collection of mugshots. This is the other Mad Cave book that I recommend. This is excellent. It's crime, family, story. If you have not seen my videos over the past 12 months, I have no idea how long it took this series to come out. It's only 4 issues. It is quite lengthy. This is Public Domain, which is at least 5 issues. And you can see the size difference there. But these were oversized issues and excellent. This is a crime, family drama, and just very well done, which I hope more people read. In addition to this, I've been reading a lot of Black Science this past week. So this is Volume 2, and it is surprising. There it is. Volume 2. So this is surprising in a number of ways, because I only read those first issues before I dropped it, and I thought there was a Fantastic Four aspect to it, but also kind of a sliders dimensional hopping thing, and it very quickly is not Fantastic Four. But yeah, so I thought I had an idea what the series was, and it's not that, but in a good way. And I enjoy it thoroughly. And I will talk more about that in length when I get to Volume 3, which I think is on its way to me. I can't be sure. Something has shipped to me, and it will be arriving Tuesday, the same day this goes live. But I don't know what that is, and I can't find any information about what has shipped. So it might be Volume 3. Might be a mystery. Tuesday might come, and who knows what I'm receiving. So, that's everything that I got this week. No, I can't say that they're all good books. They all are well drawn. But Superman gets pick of the week. And I get all of these from a local comic shop. And if you don't know where yours is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you. For anyone paying attention, I still have not read this yet. I've been focusing on other stuff. But I will get to this as soon as I can. So, that's been it. Thank you for watching. And some good comics.